working on some books and publications for my philosophy on architecture and engineering test principles. Until then, I figured I would continue to give as much information as I can on just general topics. Just like one of my last videos, I talked about design patterns. This time I'd like to actually take a step back for a second and talk about what it takes to build an app today. While it is really nice to utilize tools like Cursor, ChatGPT, Klein, things like that in order to develop applications, it is really good, especially if you're building anything that has a little bit of depth to it, or you plan on making a career out of AI engineering, to learn as much as you can about the programming language. Since my specialty as a senior engineer has been working on iOS devices or macOS devices, it would be good to talk about building a UI experience for an application at its most basic level. 3 things I'd like to cover: starting a new project, creating a page or a screen, and developing a button and making it do something. Along the way, I'll also talk about some of the foundational UI elements, which would consist of VStacks, HStacks, and ZStacks as well. So anyway, let's get right into it. Opening up Xcode is the first step. If you haven't seen any of my other videos, you would have to be running macOS, and you would need to go to the App Store and download the Xcode app. That's what we use to build applications. Now what I want to do is actually create a new project. It'll ask you to pick a style. Sometimes you might want to pick a game. You can also choose whether or not to make something for macOS or iOS, and even visionOS. I'm going to stick with iOS. And here we go. At this point, we're just choosing a few things. No need to get confused. We can just name our project and get going. Button app. We'll just call this one button app. We'll hit next. Decide where we would like to save it. Hit create. And here we go. So on the left-hand side, you'll notice there's a bunch of files. This is actually where we keep everything in order to create our app. The most important area is where everything starts, which is this file here. Whatever you named your app, which in this case, I called it button app, so it's button app, which is a mistake, but it's fine. This file is created automatically by Xcode when you create your app. And so this is where everything starts. Down here in the body, that's where we're actually presenting our content, which can be screens or different pages of the application. Right now we're pointing to this content view, which was given to us by default. In this content view, if we open it up, we can see that there's a lot of things that they gave us right off the bat. But all of these things, this entire page of code, represents this UI that we see on the right hand side. What I'm going to do is actually get rid of this, because right now this is just probably super confusing. The thing that we want to focus on is just having a body. We can also get rid of this here. Down here is where we are presenting the preview. Okay, and so now on the right hand side, we are just seeing a blank screen. You imagine an application opening up on your phone, and this is the screen that you would see. That's not good. We need something here, right? So one thing we could do is kind of give it a background. So I mentioned VStacks. VStacks means it's a area, everything in between these curly braces is going to be stacked on top of each other, like building blocks. So an example of this would be if I were to create some text here, and I can put stack. Doesn't matter what I put in here, but cool. So now we see stack here, right? If I, just to prove a point with the VStack, you can actually stack UI elements one on top of the other. So now you see we have 3 stacks here. Let me zoom in on this. There we go. Cool. Now, I mentioned H stacks and I also mentioned Z stacks. Let's actually go over them now. Now, if I were to change this to an H stack, you'll notice that instead of stacking on top of each other, it's now stacking horizontally. So when you think about stacks, just think about the letter in front of it as the helper of you understanding what it is. So H stack is a horizontal stack. V stack is a vertical stack. So it's stacking one on top of the other. Now you might be wondering, what is a Z stack then? A Z stack is where it's all stacked on top of each other. This is a little bit difficult to see right now. So what I'll do for now is actually switch it back to a V stack and have these stacking on top of each other. And what I want to do here is actually put a button on the screen. In order to do that, we can actually just type the word button. And a button has two parts to it. It has an action and it could have a label. Xcode is really nice. When you're actually typing, it can start to autofill for you. It may give you some options for what you may want to type next. This is how we create a button. What we call these in here is parameters. Creating a button means that it requires a few parameters that we need to pass through in order to successfully create it. So if we go with this right here, like there's different ways to create a button here. I'm going to go with a simple one here. It's just label. If we went with this, it doesn't give us anything. That's okay. What we can do here is create these curly braces. Label. I'll give you my favorite way to do it. It's just easier to me. So when we look at this button that we've created here, we had to type label here, and this looks really confusing. Think of label as what we're going to see as the button. When you think about buttons, there's save buttons, there are profile buttons, icon buttons, all kinds of things. What I'm going to show you here is we can create a text button that says, press me. Okay, and notice it shows up blue. And actually, furthermore, if we tap on it, you see a little blinking. That's kind of like an indicator that we did actually, in fact, press that button. Now, we see what it takes to label the button and show something there that the user knows they can tap on, but we don't know how to do something when the user has pressed the button. So one thing you might want to do is maybe change the background. This is where some of my earlier lessons, which have been few and far in between, about creating variables. Variables are great because we get to store some kind of information that we may want to refer back to later. In this case, I'm thinking I want to keep it simple, and I would like to hold on to a reference of the background. I want to store a variable that is tracking what the background should be. So if I type in var background, and it's going to be a background color, I want to keep it really simple. It started to autofill for me, which is great, and it gave me the syntax, but we see here color, and we decided to make it equal blue. We could make it red, we could make it yellow, it doesn't matter. But let's do that for now. So in order to make the background actually yellow though, because this is just a variable we're storing that we want to use in order to track what the color should be, let's go over to the VStack here and let's go to the background. We can type in background here. And actually it looks like we could just type in background color. Let's try that. Huh. It's actually only giving us the background color for the button. It's kind of funny, but that's okay. So what we can do instead is we can put, let's do this. We're going to create a Z stack. We're going to put all this stuff in here inside of the Z stack. Then what we're going to do is underneath the V stack, type in color. Oh, actually we just type background color and see what happens. Okay, so it's actually covering our button. What this means is that a Z stack, it's stacking one in front of the other, right? So in order to fix this, we want the yellow to be in the background. So we would actually just put this above the V stack, which will then put the color in the background. So what we could do here is let's ignore the safe areas around the screen so that this yellow extends, or the background color extends past everything. You notice without it, it's just kind of covering, the main portion, the safe area of the screen. But let's ignore the safe area for now. And now let's finally do something. Whenever the user presses the button, we want to change this background color. So let's do that. We will say background color equals, let's make it red so it looks different from the button. Oh, looks like it needs us to type self there. That's fine. Okay, so in order to make this work, we actually need to make sure that we're tracking the state of this variable. That means that sometimes this variable might change. The background might change. So it's giving us a little warning here with the compiler, telling us that we need to make sure that we remember the state of this. So we can put this @ in front of the our variable here for background color. And then now we're tracking the state of background. So when it changes, it understands that it needs to change. So what we can do, we can test that out here and the preview here, press the button, and here we go. That's it. We changed the background to red. So yeah, that's it. I just wanted to share this little bit about app development, really just peeking a little bit deeper. Some people will never get to this, but it's nice to start learning a little bit about what it takes to build applications, even in this new age where we can, with the type of a prompt, almost develop an entire application. This is still really nice to know for those times where AI does mess up or it does hallucinate. Or for those of you who are seeking a high value skill. Programming, sales, things like that are super high value skills that will allow you to elevate yourself and give yourself more options. So it's always great to learn new skills. Anyway, that's it. Hope you enjoyed.